A very good evening to all my listeners from all around the world and all around India. Today we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Juhi Choksi, and she was a fashion designer based in Bombay before, but now she has started to work on her own and started to work on an entrepreneurship, which basically but her journey of becoming an entrepreneur from working in Bombay is something that we are going to be discussing today. And it's going to be a very interesting ride. And if you're wondering if you should be listening to this episode or not, then maybe I can give you a hint. If you're somebody who's interested in fashion, if you're somebody who's interested in entrepreneurship, or just somebody who is interested in knowing how does one trail, like how does one begin on this path of becoming an entrepreneur, then maybe this talk that we are going to have today is going to be something valuable for you. And I really hope that you get to take something from this episode as well. And thank you so much for joining. I can see so many of you who have joined today. A very, very good evening to everyone. So, without any further ado, let us all welcome.
Before we start the interview, I hope that I'm audible to each and everyone. If I am, then please send me a thumbs up or please write a yes in the comments. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, it's 5 p.m. I guess we should be expecting Juhi any minute now. I guess we are having some technical issues here. Okay, we have her here. Thank you so much for joining us, Juhi Choksi. And I hope you are having a fabulous day today. How are you
I
feeling?
am. I am. Thank you, Priyadarshini, for having me today.
It's a pleasure, and thank you so much for choosing our podcast to share your thoughts and your life's journey with us.
Absolutely.
So, before asking any further question, I would like to know what has your journey been this far?
One second, Priyadarshini, you're not visible to me. I'm really sorry.
Oh, is it
Um,
is it on my
I'll
behalf
redo.
or is it for everybody? Okay,
It's a
yeah,
black
sure.
screen. I'm not able to see you. Yeah, I'll join back.
Yeah, sure. Technology has definitely made our life easier, but sometimes it can be painful to deal with it. I hope everything is fine now.
No, you're still not visible.
Oh, but can you hear me though?
Yes, you're audible. Am I visible to you?
Okay. Yes, you are.
All right. So I
Somebody
think
has
we'll
said
have
that
to go
your
ahead with
voice,
this.
I guess we will hope that the internet connection gets better maybe.
Yeah.
So before asking any further questions, I would first of all like to know that can you tell us about your journey of becoming an independent fashion designer?
Yes, absolutely. Um, as some of you might already know, my name is Juhi Choksi. I have done my undergraduation and post-graduation in apparel and fashion design from my hometown, Ahmedabad. Right now, I am owning my own fashion brand, a slow fashion brand. We basically make luxury festive and wedding wear clothes. Professionally, uh, I would call myself an entrepreneur. I won't call myself a fashion designer because uh, as of now, I am doing everything but designing because there's a lot of that goes behind executing a fashion brand. I'll talk more about it in the coming section. But talking about my journey, a little bit of context. My creative journey began back in 2011 when I was around 13 years old. There
Mm-hmm.
was this craft course which was introduced in our school, and I was really fascinated with all those color combinations, the artsy stuff, uh, all the art techniques basically. I absolutely fell
Mm-hmm.
in love with that, and little did I know that I was actually going to build a career out of it. Cut to 2016 when I enrolled into my design school. Day
Mm-hmm.
one into design, my first thought, I did not want to buy clothes off the fabrics off the shelf, cut it, and sew it into clothes. How do I create something which has never existed before?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had fairly decent ideas, and I kept on. I was accepted along the way. My design school supported me a lot in that aspect. I started representing it in different events, different fashion shows. I started getting recognitions. I started getting appreciation, and that kept me motivated. Soon after I graduated, I received a mail from a designer in Mumbai.
Mm-hmm.
I clearly remember it saying that um, you have been hired as a designer in our design team, and your joining is from next month. Do you accept this job? I cannot emphasize
Wow.
enough, Priya Darshini, how excited I was
Yeah.
reading that mail. It was almost like a dream come true. I literally manifested that. So,
Wow.
yeah, and Ahmedabad was not as fashion rich back then as Bombay's
Mm-hmm.
and Delhi. So soon enough, I found myself in a in a land of designers, names that I had just heard, those beautiful clothes, those window shells and everything. I was super fascinated.
Hmm.
Like I said, I was fairly intelligent and I learned what I needed to because I had to prove my worth in a place where there are a lot of other talented and skillful designers just like me.
Yeah.
But deep down, I always knew that I was meant for something bigger and better. I was not meant to
Mm-hmm.
work under someone all my life. So, and I knew that if I was working with someone, I would not be able to do what I really wanted to. I had to have my own setup for that. So,
Yeah.
soon enough, a year and a half later, I thought of quitting my job, which I always dreamt of,
Mm-hmm.
and I came
Mm-hmm.
back to my hometown, Ahmedabad. But
Wow.
I mean, the next question would be why Ahmedabad? You could have started in Mumbai itself, right?
Absolutely, because Mumbai is the center of like everything Bollywood and everything fashion in this country.
Exactly.
Definitely. My question would be why Ahmedabad?
So I was actually witnessing fashion firsthand in Mumbai,
Yeah.
but Ahmedabad was a very dear place to me. I mean, it gave me wings to dream. It gave me a perception. It gave me a vision. I could not just abandon the city. I wanted to come back and give back the city what I actually had learned across from different designers and the best designers of the world. So I had to come
Mm-hmm.
back, and yeah, and it has never been better since I came back.
Wow, that's wonderful. I guess your example is a living testimony to the fact that whatever happens in our life is a lot of hard work, but a little pinch of good luck as well, because that exact opportunity that came your way, when opportunity meets your hard work, that's exactly when, let's say, your career starts to get a boost in your life. So,
Absolutely.
yes, you said that you wanted to continue your journey by becoming an entrepreneur and by starting to work on your own. I would like to ask, or I would get to know, what was your inspiration?
Well, that's a tough one. Inspiration, inspiration can be anywhere, honestly, for
Mhm.
creating collections.
Yeah.
Um, it can be from a beautiful butterfly. It can be from a piece of poetry. It can be from a stunning color combination from a person walking down the road. Anything. Personally,
Yeah.
for me,
Hmm.
inspiration is something which comes from um, something to deliver in timeline. I mean, if I have to deliver something in timeline, it's just the creativity starts coming in me. All the inspirations just comes starts coming in me.
Hmm. Definitely, I would absolutely agree to you when you say that creativity is a process which does not need to come in a huge wave of, oh my God, such a huge inspiration has come to me. These small little things in our life, they add on to the inspiration and, go on to becoming something big and significant in your life. Now, apart
Exactly.
from, let's say, your passion for fashion, like
Hmm.
I'm genuinely curious as to when a person is starting out a business. There are so many times when we do not get the success that we were expecting initially. And there are
Hmm.
times when we are not getting the attention that we wanted, or we are not getting the success that was anticipated for our business. So, what kept you motivated during those times, and what did you personally do when, let's say, your business was not as flourishing as it is right now?
Well, it's as it said that it takes 1,000 days for a business to actually uh, make it into the
Yeah.
market. I am not
Yes.
yet in those 1,000 days, but touch wood, I would say that I have been um, lucky enough to have had a very good response from day one. And
Mm-hmm.
but still, if somebody is in this field and if they're not able to have it's never the businesses are so risky that you don't really know what is coming your way.
Absolutely.
It's every day is a surprise in itself. So you just have to keep going with it. You just have to embrace what's coming your way, keep hustling. You do not have to stop. And there
Mm.
is a superpower who's guiding every one of us, and they'll give you everything in the right time. You have to just
Absolutely
have
agree.
faith, and what you can do is keep hustling, keep
Yes,
finding a way, have a broader vision, have a macro vision, interact with your peer, interact with people of your interests, and that is how just keep going with it. That's all I would say.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes, and I absolutely like I would really like to emphasize this, what you said is that you need to put in your hard work and God is the one who is going to keep guiding you throughout the way. Like
absolutely.
whatever it is that you people believe in, whether it is God, universe, or any supernatural concept, but anything that guides us throughout our lives, that is always present there. And we always need to give actions from our side in order for God to do something in our lives because we just can't sit around and expect God to give you a gift in your lap, like, okay, now it is time for you to go. We also need to show some active participation from our own side. I
That's the
absolutely
first.
agreed with that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And talking about fashion, what was it that was the most interesting to you about fashion? Like you could have pursued so many things in this world, but what was that one thing that made you pursue just fashion?
Um. So many of times, when people realize that I'm a designer, their first reaction
Hmm.
is, "Oh wow, lucky you." Of course, I'm lucky. I love what I do.
Hmm.
I know a lot of them think that we just sit with sketchbooks all day and dream. But think about this. Which society in the world, something as far back as Mohenjo-daro Harappan, has not been obsessed with dress? If appearance is such a important part of human nature, imagine a world without
Hmm.
designers. I myself see it as a very boring place.
Definitely, that would be a very boring place to live in. And absolutely, like fashion is such a crucial part of our lives. And it is a crucial part of our society and how we present ourselves in the society. Talking about such like the role of fashion that plays in our lives, which is the way we present ourselves in the world. What is your take on what is your take on high-end fashion?
High-end fashion, I mean, uh, when people know that I'm into designer stuff, I'm into fashion stuff, the most common reaction I get is, oh, that's not for me, that's expensive. But
Hmm.
my question is all fashion expensive? No. For
Yes.
me, what I'm trying to
Hmm.
say here is for me, a autowala who's had his collar up with his gamcha around his neck is as fashionable
Hmm.
as someone wearing their Chanel dress with high heel boots. They're equally fashionable to me because they're confident in what style they're having. The difference I'm
Yes.
trying to say is between fashion and their own style. So,
Hmm.
so fashion, and not to demean that fashion and its trends, you should not follow that, but it
Hmm.
always comes with a sense of personal style. Fashion trends come and go,
Absolutely.
they're not constant, and you don't really necessarily have to follow it. But personal style will stay. But the immediate question
Hmm.
what people ask is, if personal style is so important and so crucial, how to find it? So, personal style is always there in you. Everyone has it. It's just about
Hmm.
discovering it over a period of time. You just have to know what style suits you, and it's a constant process. It's not an overnight thing. You just have to be at it, and just reintrospect that this is suiting you. This is making you feel more confident, and um, yeah, uh, that is how you determine your own style. So answering your question, no, all fashion is not expensive.
Hmm.
There are just to feel fashionable is not expensive. Of course, it's a choice if you want to go into
Hmm.
high-end fashion or not. But no, all fashion is
Definitely.
not expensive.
Yes, I would. I actually I appreciate the fact that you had put it out there that just because you're wearing some fashionable and some very high brand clothes doesn't mean that you are fashionable, because even those people who wear such expensive brands end up looking not fashionable at all. So I guess the bottom line here comes about the confidence that
Right.
you have while whatever it is that you wear. It is like you should wear the
Absolutely.
dress. The dress should not be wearing you. Definitely.
Very well said.
Now,
I like that. Very well said. Yeah.
well, would I would give the credit to Lakshmi Rana. I learned it from her when I was in my modeling camp, and I had a little bit introduction, like a little bit sneak peek into the world of fashion. And I found
Uh-huh.
that it is such a creative world. Like you have to be so creative in each and everything that you do. The
Yes.
creativity has to be so high processing. Now, I was wondering if you ever had a time in your life when you were finding it difficult to find any new creative ideas. And if you had those times, what
Mhm.
did you do to come out of that slumber?
Hmm. Like I mentioned, inspiration and getting creative ideas it does not happen overnight. It does not happen, it does not just come to you. You just have to show up at your workplace every single day, sit with a pen and a paper, and you
Hmm.
there's no other option but the inspiration to pop up. You cannot be, I don't have an inspiration. Like a lot of people, lot of designers I meet, lot of peers I know, they would be like, I have a creative block. I don't know what to do. I don't have creative ideas right now. And that is not a valid reason to just lay back. You have to show up every single day at work. You have to sit with a paper, sketch out
Hmm.
ideas, and there is no other option but the creativity and the inspiration to pop out. You just have to be
Hmm.
at it. That's the only answer which I can give.
So, have you found any difference in your creativity when you were naturally feeling very creative and when you were forced to, at least have something in front of you? What difference did you see?
Well, the world could not, would never identify that. Was it a
Yeah,
forceful inspiration or a natural
definitely.
inspiration? But well,
Yes.
inspiration and creating a collection is a series of steps. So ideally,
Hmm.
creating an outfit consists of 10 to 12 different stages, sometimes even more. And
Hmm.
it's a very cumbersome process to bring an outfit to life just from a thought. Of course, it's very enjoyable as well. But
Hmm.
by the time you present a garment on a runway or fittings or trials, you've been through a
Hmm.
process of lifetime. And it's very emotional
Hmm.
for a designer to see a inspiration transfer into sketch and to a final outfit. So
Hmm.
when you say that what is a forceful inspiration or what is an organic inspiration, there's no specific answer to it, but it's a series of process which are brewed, cooked, and finally established. So it's just a series of steps out of which some may be forceful, some may be consciously done. I would not say forceful, but they're conscious
Yeah.
inspirations and some are organic inspirations. So it's a blend of it, and that is what it makes the outfit more unique. Every designer has a unique sense in that way.
Wow. I absolutely, I And I can literally vouch for that when you say that that the person who is witnessing the art cannot really figure out if it is organic or not, but the artist knows that what the process is it like what the process entails and what it is like to finally, give the finished product out to the world. Now, talking about something as creative as fashion designing, there are so
Mhm.
many other fields that also demand such a high level of creativity. For example, writing, for example, visual arts, becoming a photographer, all of these things. So I wanted your opinion upon, like, do you think that can fashion be considered a form of art, or is it primarily a commercial enterprise?
Well, fashion, the business of fashion. So, a backstory here, a very quick story. I
Mm-hmm.
started a Western wear brand when I was 20 years old. All right. I was still in college, uh, trying to understand what my how and when, like, how to just design. So, basically, designing something and selling it out in the market are two completely different aspects. So
Hmm.
in design school, the only thing which is taught is designing. You're
Hmm.
literally focused on designing part, following a design process and everything. Once you're out in the market, selling that product is a completely different chapter. So when you ask me,
Hmm.
is fashion seen in a art form or in a commercial aspect? It's both. During the making of it, it's a very artful and a very creative thing to do. But once the product is
Hmm.
ready, like any other product, for us, garment is ready, it's then
Hmm.
out in the market to be sold. And no fashion business will survive without the commercial aspect of it. So it has to involve a business. So coming back to my
Yeah.
brand, when I was 20 years old and I started this brand, I did not know how to monetize on my designs. I did not know
Hmm.
how to give a commercial aspect to it and I had to shut it down. I did not know the following processes after designing. So it's
Hmm.
design fashion as a business is a blend of both art and commercial aspects. You have to do both hand in hand.
Hmm. So you're talking about that how commercial aspect is equally as important. Like if you want your art to survive in this economy, there
Mhm.
has to be a commercial aspect to it. What
Absolutely.
advice would you give to a person who
Mhm.
wishes to, go on the same path as you, who is also as creative as you, who wants to do fashion designing and wants to, become an entrepreneur? What would your advice to them be?
Well, fashion is a very broad term in these days. I mean, fashion is such a thing where everyone has an opinion.
Definitely.
But people need to understand that fashion is just an umbrella term.
Hmm.
There are lots of other fields associated to it when we talk just about fashion. Just like engineering. When we talk about
Hmm.
engineering, there is so much more to it, like electrical, mechanical, autonomic, and so
Hmm.
many more things. Just like that, fashion is just an umbrella term. And there are so many
Hmm.
sub branches to it, like fashion forecasting, fashion styling, fashion communication, magazines, and so many more things. So when a person is trying to pursue something in fashion, like firstly, they need to know that they're inclined into fashion. They want to build something out of fashion, and they have a hinge of they have a knack of creativity. That's the first prerequisite. Following to
Hmm.
that, I would say that if you have decided to come into fashion, don't limit yourself. Explore as much as you can in your early 20s at least. Because the minute you start exploring, even if you don't know what you want to do, you'll at least know what you don't want to do. You'll start funneling down your options
Yes.
and eventually you end up into one mainstream line and which interests you actually because you've been liking that and eventually you
Hmm.
will work around it and you will make a career out of it because fashion is something where you need to have a constant attention constant you have to be at it you cannot
Hmm.
do it like other professions if you don't like it you need to
Hmm.
love fashion as a field and unless you've not explored enough you won't know what aspect of fashion you're interested into so for all the people I'm sorry if, so for all the people who are interested into fashion you must explore and funnel down your options and finally select what you really like so that you can stick by it for a longer time and you can offer the world which something which is never witnessed before only then because the fashion market is saturated you can never bring
Hmm.
something new if you're not really interested into it.
Hmm. Well, since we have such a huge privilege of having, a session with a fashion designer herself, what are some fashion tips that you would like to give to people who are so interested about fashion in their life, or maybe some people who just want to find their own identity in the world of fashion? What would your tips be to them?
For styling tips, as I mentioned, um, again, for styling, it's a constant process. And everyone has fashion in them. It's just that they need to discover it organically by experimenting on yourself, by trying new combinations, color combinations, style options, fabric details, something or the other. You keep on experimenting on yourself. That can be an option. B, take help of a professional, because there are a lot of fashion stylists out there ready to who are willing to up your fashion game. That's a really good option. And yeah, in styling aspect, you can just find your own style over a period of time. It does not come overnight. So that is there. And sorry, what was the
Okay.
question again? I don't know if I answered that or not.
No, you did answer.
I,
And for all the people who are trying to find their own fashion, because we have so much, like right now in this globalized world, we have access to so many fashion icons. And we get to see some fashion disasters as well as some fashion wonders in the fashion world.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
when people have so much input around them, how do they choose what to follow? And amidst that, how do they create their own taste in fashion? Which is something that I was interested in. And definitely, you gave an answer to that. And I was also very curious to know that you said you have worked in Bombay.
Yes.
Would you tell us about the journey of what it was like to work in Bombay, and if you had any experience in Bollywood as well, to work with any people who are, big names in Bollywood? What was your experience like working with them, and then how it changed when you become an entrepreneur?
Um, well, when I was in Bombay, it's a completely different world there. Like in terms of fashion, it's a completely different world. So when you're a designer and you're working closely as runway designer, there are a lot of um, time when you opt to end your fashion shows, opt your runway shows to end with a Bollywood celebrity. That is how that's just a marketing strategy which I am talking about. When
Yeah.
you end a runway show with a Bollywood celebrity, that's an additional um, recognition which you're getting, and that's an additional visibility you're getting in the market. The runways are especially for marketing purposes and to showcase your designs in the world. And when a Bollywood celebrity stops it just booms, right?
Yeah.
So when I was in Bombay, I was working with a designer, and luckily at that time there was this fashion show happening, Lapin Fashion Week Winter Edition 22, and it was Malaika Arora was topping it. So
Yeah.
I'll just quickly take you through a process that how we ended up styling Malaika Arora. All right. So
Definitely.
um, there's a series of collection, like a collection of 20-25 outfits, and out of that, the best one is chosen uh, for the Bollywood celebrity who's closing the show. So when that is happening, there are a lot of chances that the stylist who is styling, okay, again, between designer and the Bollywood celebrity, there is a stylist who plays a very crucial role. So once our designs are finalized, we reach out to the stylist that, hey, our designs are finalized. Please get the fittings and the trials done. And once it's done on the Bollywood celebrity, since they are a recognized person, they would have their own inputs. So um, once the designs are sent out, always the stylist is the one who gives us suggestions or gives us feedbacks, basically, that this is working for us and this is not working for us. So the outfit comes back
Yeah.
to our workshop. We quickly make the changes, and this is literally not even 24 hours before the show. Everyone is super stressed out, and there are last minute changes that are happening in our workshop. So the outfit comes back to our workshop. We quickly make the changes. Again, it goes to the celebrity. The celebrity tries it on, and only if the celebrity agrees to it, they're comfortable with it, we let it go on the runway. So that's the entire process of how Bollywood celebrities close the fashion shows in specific. But apart from runways, there are a lot of celebrities who attend the shows who are also wearing the designer, and that's
Hmm.
a completely different experience altogether. So we pick and choose designs and outfits as per the specific influencer or the celebrity style and send it out to them, which they wear and attend the shows. So that's a beautiful experience as well.
Wow. Hearing the
Yeah,
entire
it's
story,
very
it
dreamy
just feels
vibe.
like
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
It must be
very
so
dreamy vibe.
exhausting because last minute changes are so that you have to go back to your workshop and then back to the runway, then back to the workshop and back to the runway. Well, hats off to this intense last minute things that keep happening, and still, like the entire team is able to pull off such a fantastic fashion show. So kudos to all of you for that. And I really feel like during this entire journey till now in your life,
Mm.
what is that one life lesson that you have learned in terms of, let's say, your career or in terms of your life, which you feel that if we listen to it, we would gain something from it? Or which you think that if other people followed this advice, they
Mm-hmm.
might also get help in whatever it is that they are wishing to pursue in their life? What is that one thing that you learned in your life till now?
Well, personally, I have had lots of ups and downs in my life,
Hmm.
in professional career specifically. But one thing which kept me going was the passion which I had for fashion. I know it
Mm-hmm.
rhymes, passion for fashion, but
Yes.
the it's about the interest and the genuine dedication you have towards the thing you're doing. If you're
Hmm.
really committed to what you're doing, you'll eventually come out of it. I mean, before I just talked about the good parts of my life, but there have been times when I've been rejected from brands. I have been not accepted by designers, be it any reason. I mean, I was fairly intelligent and I had pretty good ideas, but it was just not
Hmm.
resonating with the brand's language. And there are times when they reject it. So there have been
Hmm.
times when I was disheartened that I might be lacking something which the designer wants and I don't have it in me. But it was the
Hmm.
passion and the dedication for this field which kept me going and which pushed me even harder to come back
Hmm.
and just be at it. So if I were to ask, if I were to say one life lesson, it would be there will be a lot of times that you will just want to give up and you would be like, I don't really want to do it or I'm not meant for it. You're just self-doubting yourself. But
Hmm.
think of the time why you really picked this career in the first place. Rewind, flashback. I have a
Absolutely.
folder in my phone which
Hmm.
has all my achievements, which when I'm
Yeah.
low, I browse it through, and that
Hmm.
makes me remind all the things, good things which I had in my life, and that lifts me back
Hmm.
again. So you just
Hmm.
have to have your own thing, own soft, happy space where you can make yourself. You always know it, but there are a lot of times when you forget things. So when you keep
Hmm.
on reminding yourself why you started this in the first place and why you actually wanted to do this, that will eventually um, make you come again and again. So, yeah,
Hmm.
that's something which,
So
and I think a lot of people out there are very intelligent and they know how to come up with a solution. So, I,
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, I also feel that, like in a creative field like yours, one might feel that my ideas are so unique and so creative. But once you step into the creative world, you realize that, okay, your ideas were not the only ones that are unique, and many people also have the same ideas. But the difference comes in the execution. And at the end of the day, it comes down to your personality and your hard work. And what is that one pitch of different mindset that you have that brings a different kind of, work front, which brings a different personality altogether and gives your work an entire new personality. So self-confidence
absolutely.
is the key that I'm getting here, that you need to have self-confidence while you are on your journey in your life.
Self-confidence and commitment to your work. That's it.
Definitely, definitely. And before we end this episode, is there anything else that you would want your followers to know, or is there anything upcoming in your journey as a fashion designer that you would want us to know about?
Well, fashion designers generally come up with two collections a year. So
Yeah,
it's always one is winter and one is summer. So
yeah.
summer collection is already out there. We're working with a
Mm-hmm.
winter collection, festive collection. So whosoever is following me would obviously be knowing it, but whosoever is not following it and have joined in this live, do follow us. We're coming up with lot of new designs, lot of festival designs. Brides of 24,
Hmm.
25, we're welcoming them and we're um, coming up with a lot of new things. So stay tuned,
Hmm.
stick by here. That's it.
That's wonderful. We are, and I'm also personally looking up to the collection that you have. And I like this is my personal opinion. I absolutely adored your entire collection.
Thank
And I
you
absolutely
so much.
love how you put in the hint of, that Indianness and modernness, both of them combined together. So that, how do I say, that
Fusion is the new
collaboration,
cool.
that fusion, yeah, exactly, that fusion that you show in your work, I absolutely adored that. And not forgetting your own roots, which is India, and then bringing that out into this modern contemporary fashion world is absolutely exemplary. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope that you had a good time as much as I did. And I learned so much from you. I hope that you have a wonderful journey ahead. And we would love to have you anytime soon in future as well. And for my audience
Absolutely.
as well. If
Absolutely.
you're interested
Thank you so
in some,
much, Priyadarshini, for having
yeah,
me. I had a great time sharing my insights, and I hope our viewers take have a takeaway message from this live because eventually that's the purpose. And I definitely had a very good time.
definitely.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining. And I really hope that all our viewers had a good time as well. And please keep looking forward to many such more videos in future. And please visit Juhi Choksi's Instagram handle. She has absolutely fantastic work up on her Instagram page. Give her a like and give her a follow. And please make sure to support your, let's say, organic Indian fashion designers, because that is also equally as important in the fashion
That's
world.
so
Give
sweet.
a push to, yes, our Indian fashion designers, because we are also not far behind when it comes to, bringing out latest trendy fashion in this fashion world. So,
Absolutely.
with this, we wrap up today's podcast episode. And thank you so much to everyone who joined. And thank you so much, Julie, for your inspirational words and for your wonderful
Thank you so much.
insights. We hope to see you around soon. Okay, thank you
Absolutely. It
so
was a pleasure.
much, everyone.
Bye
Bye
bye.
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 Have a nice day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.